And the second May hears that, she walks up to Deku, and then just starts feeling up on his body.
Deku explains to what's his name, Power Dozer.
Yes.
So he explains to him, all that, and then like Banzai said, Power Dozer says what he says, and next thing you know, like we don't even like really see her at first. She just pops up behind him, like touching on him and
he's
stuff.
Just freaking out.
And he's just like, ugh. And then Ochaka's like, she's touching your body.
Touching my man.
Yeah, she's like so jealous. It's funny.
And then she just throws one of her inventions, aka her babies, on him.
Yeah.
And it's just like this mechanized suit. And
it like heavily resembles like the Iron Man Mark 1 armor. Like it's just like this suit. It's like pieces that are designed for like a strong body. That's why she was feeling on him. Mm-hmm. She's not trying to be like have any intimacy at all. She's feeling just everything for her like creations.
She's feeling how muscular he was.
She was like, oh yeah, this is a strong body. Yeah, perfect for my baby number 42 or whatever the baby was.
Yeah, and so now he has this power armor on, and now he's like. She said it's supposed to like contort and move with his muscles.
Yeah.
So it started moving. He's like, oh, it's moving by itself, and then it keeps going and going, and then it's going, and Deku's like, oh wait, it's not stopping that, and it's about to snap in half, and then she's like, stop.
And then she's like, go inside. And she's like, I'm sorry.
She
and
said
she's
sorry
like
really
smiling,
quick.
like all like proud, like yeah, you almost died, but I'm sorry.
Because the very first thing is she quotes Thomas Edison, which is another cool thing because
that's cool as shit.
They're quoting American like inventors, scientists, stuff like that. So she's just like, you can't get anywhere without failure.
Yeah, you have to fail to succeed. So that's like her mindset. Like she fails over and over, but it doesn't stop her. It doesn't even slightly take away from her like passion and just intense drawing up constant different inventions and stuff.
So now after that little incident, Ida's like...
But real quick, before you get to Ida, one of the reasons that I made the Iron Man comparison is because in Iron Man 2, there's a scene where you see people around the world trying to imitate the Iron Man armor, and the Hammer guys from Hammer Corps, they're in the armor, and next thing you know, the armor like spins around completely and like breaks the dude's back. He's like, ah! And like cut the feed. So like when he's in the armor and it's like moving on its own and like almost breaks his back, he's like, oh, my back. And she's like, oh, sorry. That just, I don't know, that made me directly resemble that.
Now you got me thinking it was that
like
actual
a
Easter
little
egg,
homage,
because
like I could see it. They've done it so much, especially in the manga. We had watched a video where like it breaks down the show, and there's so many Easter eggs in the manga. Like I think they even said
a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah, they have like Star Wars stuff. Like they have Tatooine, they have Yavin, and there's a scene where like Deku's carrying All Might on his back for training, which is a direct homage to Luke carrying Yoda, which is literally confirmed to be a direct homage. Like, the creator of My Hero's favorite thing is Star Wars. That's insane. That's so cool. Like, to me personally, that's so tough. Like, I love this show because there's so much shit that, like, tells me that, like, people in Japan fuck with us. Like,
just get down on your knees. My hero.
I
love you.
But, like, it's crazy to see because their inspiration comes from American comics. Like, there's a character in the manga who directly resembles Spider-Man. He's supposed to resemble Spider-Man, and you can see I can't remember what superhero it is. I think it's a hero who's supposed to like resemble Superman, and he's in like the audience for the big tournament.
Yeah.
For the
he was supposed to resemble the Flash.
Yeah. It was supposed to be the Flash, and he was in the audience, and he was supposed to apologize for something that happened to Deku, because I guess him running, because he was late to the tournament, him running into the Speed Force and hopping into the audience, like, affected something in the show, which I think is cool as hell. Well, not in the show. The show doesn't do that because, they can get sued for copyright. I don't even know if, like, Stan Lee and them are even aware of My Hero or, like, what they do. I'm sure they are, but I don't know if they understand, like, that they pay respects to them and stuff. So, regardless, to avoid all the possible legal fees, they keep it to the manga. And the manga has like Super Mario Bros. In it, homages to that, homages to a bunch of like American culture, which is cool as hell. But that's why I think that this might be a little sneaker in there for Iron Man. So who knows? But
so now we go on to Ida, and after seeing what just happened to Deku, Ida's like walking up to Power, he's like, hey, mom.
He like whispering to the guy. He's like, hey, Power Dose.
I just want to improve my engine quirks because they can't out too fast and. Of course, May here, so she appears behind him.
Possibly, like, appears behind him on some, like, what's the North Star?
He's like, oh my god. And Nita's like, Nani?
Yeah, she, like, the way she pops up, like, we're looking at, like, Ida, right? And she just, like, appears from behind him. Like, it's ridiculous.
Oh, you looking for some...
She's like, I have something for that, too. And he's just like, ugh. And then she ends up giving him the same like engine boots he has, but on his forearms. And she's like, "This is baby number 39." And he's like, "I don't need
none of this. I don't need none of this. Stop this!"
Yeah, she's like, "Stop!"
He just blasts for it in the air, and he's on the roof. He's just like,
his like back is being pressed against the roof. If you guys ever like went to like a carnival and got on the Gravitron where like your back is stuck, and that's Ida to the roof, and he's sitting there like, "I didn't need this. I didn't need this."
Yeah, he's just like silently dying. He's like, and then she stops it. He lands on the ground. And everybody's checking over. Like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?"
And then of course she hits it with the signature. Go Menasai.
But then it breaks down to a moment because she pretty much explains like, if your leg engines are not working right, why don't you take a break from them and use your arms?
Now she joked with it. She said, "Well, if you can't run on your legs, why don't you take a break and run on your arms?" And as soon as she said that, Deku has like a bulb of light.
Yeah, like an epiphany just starts to form in his head. Like just nothing yet, but it starts forming in his head. Mm-hmm. And then where did it go from there? Because that was the epiphany.
When it went from there, she says that, and then Deku like has that epiphany, and then it focuses on him for a second, and then he has this whole like back and forth like in his head, just reiterating everything All Might said, everything Gran Torino said, what his mom said. I think someone else said something about it too, but you know, everyone who's talked to him about just being exactly like All Might.
So that he had his epiphany, but he didn't have anything groundbreaking yet. Then Power Dozer comes over, and is like, "Yeah, May's crazy," but here's
because Ida like says something like, you know, she's nutty. Like I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, Power Dozer's like, she's crazy, and Ida's like, "Yeah, we're all used to it." Everybody's like, "We're used to it by now," and he was like, "Well, I hope you get used to it because she's the future of the support class." Like,
yeah, it's really cool. He goes into this touching like monologue, and while he's talking, the screen panels over to like a back shot of Hatsumi. Like she's faced away from the screen.
She's just fixing one of her babies up again.
And all you hear is her laughing. She's just laughing the whole time. And it's the most adorable thing because like she's so passionate about what she's doing and all these creations she's making.
Yeah.
And no matter what, like we said, if she fails, she just gets more excited to do better. And he's explaining to them like, go ahead, she's just...
Yeah. Power Dozer is just like, she's the future of the support class. Like, when you guys become pros, she's who you're going to be going to. She's failed about like hundreds of dozens of times, doesn't get discouraged. But then they show like a mountain of her inventions.
Yeah, I think he said she had like 62 different experiments so far.
From the course of season 1, from when they got into UA up to where they're at now, she's been in that class every day, just making improvements, making inventions.
So we get to this monologue and it's real sweet, and he's pretty much explaining to them, you know, she is the future. Mm-hmm. And after that, we cut back to Deku, where he comes to the realization, that's what I need. Because all his signatures are, you know, Delaware Smash, or Detroit Smash, or, you know, even United States of Smash, Texas Smash, you know, all these different Smash attacks where he just punches the dog shit out of somebody. And Deku's like, that's it. Everything All Might does has to do with his fist punching somebody. So then he runs up to Ida. He's like, Ida, can you be my sensei? You know, teach me.
He's like, teach me. We're like, and Ida's like, teach you what? What are you talking about? Stop getting so hyped. Weren't you here about we're here about our costumes.
Now, most of us kind of can expect what he meant by this. Yeah. But to the blind eye, nobody knows. They're just like, oh, okay, maybe he wants Ida to teach him how to like work on running faster and stuff like that. So boom, it cuts over, and we go back to the TDL.
Oh wait. They joke around with Uraraka first, because Uraraka's like, I want to do something so I can float more. Mm-hmm. And then May just brings up, like, I don't understand this part. She brings out this bomb. She's like, oh, you want to float more? And then everybody's like, that's going to explode. And it blows up. I was like, how's going to help them make, whatever. May Hatsume star of this show. Get out of here.
Hatsume is just adorable. Like, everything she did in like the episode was just funny.
Shout out to our friend Ayana, who's a huge May Hatsume fan. You won't love this episode.
Ayana, I don't know if you're going to watch this, but hi. Hello. But anyway.
Now, back to the TDL.
Now we go back to the TDL, which is the training grounds or whatever. So
this is 4 days later, too.
Yeah, it's 4 days later. So the group that we saw go to the support unit, they got their costumes. Yeah. We see it when little punk-ass pervy kid runs up to Deku.
Mineta.
Anyway, he runs up to Deku, and Deku no longer has, like, gloves. He has, like, thin gloves that are, like, gauntlets.
He has full-on, like, bracers on now.
Yeah, that they go all the way up to here now. And it's probably to help with his, you know, fists and punching with to reduce the strain on his
arms. And that's
arms.
the first part of his costume we see.
Yeah, that's the first thing we see. And Mineta talks about it. He's like, well, why don't you do away with your whole costume and just start fresh? And then
he's like, your costume's boring.
Yeah, he's like, your costume's pretty boring. And then we have a flashback to Best Mom because she gave him his first costume. The costume he has, the base of it, is the same base that his mom gave him.
So he doesn't want to change the design too much.
Yeah, he can't change the design.
His costume is literally made of Mom's Love, All Might.
Yeah.
Because that's the bunny ears were supposed to represent his face, and then the mouthpiece was supposed to represent his smile. His smile, but the support class changed that a long time ago.
Yeah, they destroyed that thing.
But whatever, I like it.
So he tells me that it's perfect the way it is. Aside from little tinkers here and there, I don't want to mess up the base of it. And I love that. I think that's a really cool shout out to his mom and everything. So then we move over to all the kids in class.
And we're seeing their improvements after 4 days.
Yeah, we're seeing some pretty significant improvements if we're being honest. Now we have a point where it's most of the class is able to defeat the ectoplasm clones, which is a very good start.
Yeah, they started off strong. They started off with Tokuyami, and Dark Shadow just makes a Susanoo looking cloak over top of him.
Yeah, he wraps himself around him. And the whole point is so that Tokuyami can be better in the field if it needs to be a direct fist fight.
Because that was his weak. No one knew his weakness except other than Light for the longest, and then his second weakness is he sucks at hand to hand.
Well, I will say that the Light thing isn't Tokuyami's weakness as much as it is the Dark Shadow's.
But Tokuyami's
weakness. His actual weakness was that he wasn't good at fighting close.
Yeah,
he was too scared to fight up close, and then Bakugo annihilated him. So what he does is he literally is shielded by Dark Shadow. It covers all the way up to his fingers, his arms, his legs. You can still see his chest and the bottom of his face, but Dark Shadow's head even encases his face like a helmet. And he's looking through Dark Shadow's eyes as he gets ready to fight and everything. So it's really cool. It's like an armor of some type of sorts. And if you watch Naruto and see Susanoo, it's exactly what Sasuke does.
Yeah.
Where he surrounds himself with the Susanoo chakra, which is cool as hell, the skeletal structure. But with Dark Shadow, he just covers him completely, and he's wearing Dark Shadow now as an armor / weapon. So it's cool.
Yeah, we're going by. You see Kirishima's hardening up. Mm-hmm. You see old Chaco starting to float better now. Let's see if y'all pick this up.
Actually, I'm gonna interject real quick. The cool thing about Kirishima is when All Might goes to him, he says every punch you throw is just to punch. He was like, I need you to hit it full force and try to break through.
Yeah.
And that's designed for two things. One is to show you that Kirishima hasn't ever really been fighting to fight. He's more so been fighting to, I guess, survive. Not so much survive like he's gonna die, but doing just enough to make it through the fight. Hardening to do what he has to do, and that's pretty much it. Now, this resonates with me personally because I'm a martial artist. We are both martial artists, actually. And when we train, our instructors stress over and over, no matter whether it's punches, kicks, roundhouse kicks, thrust kicks, straight punches, hooks, any punch we throw. It can be Professor Greg. It can be Professor David. It can be Sensei Mike. It can be my brother Sensei Greg. It can be any of our pro fighters, Brandon Mullins, Big Dave, any of them. Shamil, any of our top guys will tell you, punch through your target, kick through your target. Your target is not who's in front of you, it's whatever's behind them. And that hit me personally heavy because that's how I was trained. That's how we were trained. And I'm sitting here that's so cool. It's such a small scene, but you can see him punching this boulder now, and he's indenting it. He's destroying that thing.
Juggernaut.
Because now, yeah, absolutely. Because now he's punching through it. He has a huge boulder that Cementos made for him because All Might wants him to punch straight through it. He wants that thing destroyed. He doesn't want you to hit it. He wants you to punch through it.
Yeah, because this is going back to when they were doing the training thing before the villains attack. So they're still pretty much trying to strengthen their quirks. You see Sarah in the background trying to use as much tape as you can. Kirishima's training was he was getting beat up on because he needs to be able to hold his hardening better. Mm-hmm. So he's just plowing through things, but now he's getting stronger at it. The one that I think, other than Tsukuyomi, that you liked a lot, that it's so subtle that you can't tell.
It's mad subtle. I had to double take. I was like, wait a minute, is she?
So you see Froppy, and she's just sitting there with her eyes closed. And it just looks like, oh crap, she's meditating. But spoiler alert, even though at this point there shouldn't be a spoiler alert if we were talking about this episode, you might be seeing her go a little translucent a little bit.
It's crazy.
amphibians, do they do some type of camouflage thing?
They do, and it's nutty because, like, I get she's a frog, but just, like, she draws from so many different, like, species of frogs, and it's so cool to see because you're staring at her. Like, you're just looking at her, and you're like, okay, whatever, you know, she's meditating. She's probably about to do some super jump or something, you know, like super froggy jump.
Up to this point, we already know that Froppy is, like, the most well-rounded character in Class 1A, but her ability is just her frog thing. It's nothing too flashy. It's what you expect a frog to do. But just to see, like, a new simple add-on like that as her ultimate move, it's just like, oh, man, that's going to be...
To just imagine the capabilities that she's going to have, like, it's so cool. Because you don't even see her go invisible. You see just a very slight hint that she's going to eventually become, like, capable of doing this camouflage technique. And it's so tough. Because you see, like, through her body and Cementos's, the floor that he made, you see it through her, and then it cuts to somebody else. I'm like, yo, that's nutty!
Which is also great because we already know that Froppy's endgame is to become a rescue hero. She wants to save people from natural disasters and stuff. And as we saw from one episode, she does have to still deal with villains and stuff. So to be able to get the jump on them is important. Just like the reason behind Ochako wanting to learn how to float better isn't just so she can float and fly eventually, it's because she learned gunhead martial arts, and she wants to be able to make her body lighter, that way she can just combat people better. Which I love her for that she's like getting into martial arts. I love her for that.
She has a pretty cool self-defense style.
Yeah.
But
now
then we move over to this motherfucker.
The king of the ground.
He's just on some shit, if we're being honest. Like, so Bakugo has these two, like, grenade gauntlets, right? And they're designed to store up all the sweat that, like, you know, accumulates from his arms and stuff, because he has flammable sweat. What's it called? Nitroglycerin?
Nitroglycerin. And the point of the gauntlets is the whole, like I said, he came up with the greatness of his costume before everybody else.
He's a prodigy.
They store the sweat, that way he can use explosives more, because if he uses it too much with just his arm, it strains. So we're used to seeing giant big explosions for him sideswipe and stuff. One of the many special moves they came up with was focus it into like a single point, and then just explode it on that. That way it's just like a concentrated, it can break through walls and metal and type. AP shot is what he called it.
Yeah, he calls it armor piercing shot, which is pretty unique. I mean, it's pretty much what it's gonna do.
Yeah, but he has to find a getaway vehicle or something to break through and stuff like that.
He like holds it out, and then he takes his other hand and he like just puts that little, you know, he just makes a little hole with his other hand, and he's able to just a straight, clean shot through his other hand, and it causes it to be a little beam. And you could, I guess, compare it to like the special beam cannon as far as penetration power, and you see him just bust through this rock effortlessly.
And everybody's like, oh, there's Bakugo doing good shit again.
Yeah, and then Deku's like, oh snap, look at Bakugo, like, wow.
No, he wasn't even there yet. That was on Mina, the acid.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't see Deku at all. All Might's like, they're like, well, there.
But
yeah,
because of Bakugo doing that to the like thing, All Might came back. He was like, "Oh, how's the students doing and everything?"
Yeah, he's like, Bakugo's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's like looking at Bakugo. He's like, "Oh my god, this kid is like something else." Then he turns around and talks to Aizawa again, and you see that the aftermath of the cause and effect of Bakugo doing his little AP shot, the rock that he cracked dropped off a piece, and a big piece of debris, like it was a huge rock, was coming straight for All Might.
And he's weak body now, so everybody's like...
he's weak body, so everyone's like, oh shit.
So, right there at the piece, like, he's getting ready to try to catch it. Bakugo's like, look out! And now I know the song breaks into freaking Yusei Run Jet version 2. And you just see Deku in the air electrifying. We're like, oh snap, he's about to punch the shit out of that boulder.
To protect All Might.
And All Might's just staring like...
All Might's like, oh my god, this thing's coming to me. Then he sees Deku and then he starts to smile a little bit.
You see him smile because what? Deku's getting ready to charge up that punch? No, he isn't. What's Deku about to do?
So this man Deku jumps up and All Might turns around and he's looking, he's like, oh snap. And then Deku comes and he goes, one for all, full cowling. And the first thing he says is smash, but he throws a roundhouse kick.
Like a straight, like, ooh, like, perfect roundhouse. And
probably it was actually probably a tornado kick because I think he might have spun. I can't fully remember, but regardless,
I mean,
he shoots up with his one for all and just torques his body, and you see his shin go straight through that boulder.
Like this, like he's
like smash, pow, and he goes straight through the boulder.
And you can tell by his kick style. Now you know what he meant by Ida teaching you, because it's exactly Ida's pose. You know, Ida does
just like the Reciprio.
He does the roundhouse kicks. He does those spinning tornado kicks. and he just smashes through the bar. And I'm like, I knew this was coming because I read ahead in the manga a little bit, but I was literally like, Champ Special was next to me, dead asleep. I'm hype. I was like, yes, yes! Like I freaked out because as a martial artist, I love kicks. I freaking love kicks. And when he smashed it, I was like, yes! And then the cool part was he lands and slides. And from the kick and on the slides, you see he has like these steel shoes now. And he lands, he's like all for one, full caling, shoot style. And that's his variation of all for one for all now. He switched from punching, which we saw was All Might's thing. We were saying we don't want him to be like All Might all the time. And now he's using kicks. He's reducing now he's not using his arms as ticking time bomb. And now he has his very own style that he's developing.
No, it's just cool to see. Because now...
That slide! It was, I don't know why that gets you so. He slides and he's just in the stands. I was like, that's my boy Deku. You always do this throughout the show. Throughout the show, he always does something that just blows me away. It could be the simplest thing, but he just looks cool. Bakugo standing at the top of the mountain, like, what? Stop improving. Here we go again. All Might smiling.
All Might's probably had like my favorite reaction because he sees him, and like I said, All Might turned around and he was like worried for like a split second because that boulder was coming. Then all you hear is just like electricity, and then Deku shoots up, he kicks it, and All Might just immediately puts a smile on. He's like, "That's what I'm talking about, kid."
It was such a proud smile. I was like, "Yo, my hero, you always touching the heartstrings, man."
Because All Might wanted Deku to do that. You find out that that's what he meant when he said, "Don't be like me." Like, add more to your arsenal than just punching. All I did was punch people and save people. You can do a little bit more. You're smaller. You're a lot more nimble. Mm-hmm. You're more agile. You're a kid. You can learn how to do these things better than I could have because I'm a lot older. And he sees him kick, and he smiles so hard because in his head he's like, I can't tell you the answer when I tell you, don't be like me.
He's being a good teacher for once. Like, everybody talk crap about, from season 1 to season 2, Recovery Girl, freaking Gran Torino. I think even the principal was like, "Oh my, you have to step up as a teacher. You're letting this kid get hurt way too much."
Yeah.
So they always like repeat themselves from the scene, but it's not like the traditional Naruto or Bleach where it's like a flashback. Like they subtly just throw it in there, like this is how we improve from that. And then the episode ends there. We see Deku has his shoot style now, broke the boulder, and then the episode ends. We have a new ending now, and we don't watch. Well. Brutal Bane, Snapple Grapple doesn't watch the next episode previews. I do. But we're not going to go into that. So, on to my final notes. I have a question. I wanted to bring up something to you, Snapgrab.
Oh, yes, sir.
Because he does have a serious issue, but to him it's just like, okay, he switched from punches to kicks. That's that much different.
Yeah, okay. So, like, my issue isn't even the fact that he had to switch from punches to kicks. If you watch the episode, they make it like a really, really dramatic transition from, like, punching to kicking, and my issue is like, it's so obvious. Mm-hmm. You guys didn't have to put that much time into making the kicks like some. It's like if you're playing Fallout and you put a lockpick in like the hardest mode, and then you unlock the lock to find like a regular like pistol, and I'm like, okay, so you made me go through all that for some basic ass treasure, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's not even a treasure. To me, the kicking is lit. Don't get me wrong. I'm super hyped about the kicking, but I didn't think it needed like a full episode just to show, oh, well, what you need to do different is kicking. You know what I mean? What I enjoy is that although the focus was on his transition away from being an All Might Junior or a Small Might, as people like to say, it also focused on Hatsume. So you have another character who's equally important to whatever Deku's going through because she has just so much significance to this episode specifically. So I was really happy about that. But I don't know if that answered what you were going to say.
No, so it goes into there's a meme going out now, which it's kind of funny, but I ain't going to go into that. But the meme is Deku's overhurts himself with arms.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a meme, that's just the truth.
New training. Deku overuses his legs and breaks those too. And it's a funny meme.
Technically, if we're being 100% honest, Deku's already broken his legs twice.
Yeah.
So, in my, that's another reason I have a big issue with the whole legs thing, because it's not much better. Mm-hmm. So in my head, I'm like, he done broke his legs to jump and hit the the 100-point robot to save Uraraka. Then he jumped and broke his legs to try to save, I think, Eraserhead from Shigaraki. And that's when he almost got hit. Froppy got caught. So he tried to go save her. And then that's when All Might steps in. And then everyone's like, whoa. And then he like drops. But he breaks his legs.
So let me pose this to you. Because one of the situations that we know about that already is even Deku always says that I got to keep training to get myself used to the quirk, build up my muscles. So everybody's like, a simple transition between arms and legs aren't going to be that much. But think about it this way, because I told you on my argument, I feel like Deku's going to make his own style and everything out of this.
Right, which I guess technically he did with the whole shoot style thing.
Yeah, so he could keep developing from this. But the main part of this episode was explained like the costumes are meant to help people's quirks. He has new steel shoes on.
Right.
Do you think that's just going to help amplify his power, or do you think that's going to help in any other way? Is Deku just sporting a normal costume, or do you think there's going to be like a side action or new thing that these shoes are going to provide?
If you're hinting at a possible like engine for Recipio burst, is that what you're hinting?
No, I'm not hinting at that, but Deku has arm bracers now.
Right.
We know he's trying to get used to his quirk. Do you think the shoes are just meant to like add on an extra oomph?
No, not at all. I believe the shoes are designed to do the same thing his gauntlets are designed to do, so that he can kick better. They're designed to. His new shoes, they have the metal part, yeah, which means when he kicks somebody, it's probably gonna fucking hurt. But I feel like they're also designed to allow him to kick harder, just like his bracers are. I think his whole suit is gonna eventually become this power armor that allows him to hit you as hard as he wants without taking any damage back. And that's what we want, honestly, because as a fan, you're already either A, pissed off, or B, scared that he's going to lose his ability to fight with the way he's been going, just constantly damaging his own body to get these moves off.
I think we're about to go into some good stuff, because we know from the opening and from Aizawa that they're about to be fighting a bunch of other people in these license exams. So I'm excited to see what Deku's going to come forth with, because I don't think he's going to be getting through exams and stuff with just a simple Ida's teaching me kicks.
Right. I agree. And I think we're gonna see a lot from Deku. But like I said, we're not really, well, I didn't say it, but like you said, we're not really gonna know until the next episode. I didn't watch any of the trailer for the next episode. I like everything to be a surprise. It's just me personally.
It wasn't nothing too spoiler actually, so
you never know.
So you guys check it out. If you've already seen the episode, hit us up with your questions about this. I love this episode. Didn't have too much action like the last few, but we saw what future action is going to happen. We got more character development for a lot of characters, including side characters who are in Class 1A. I'm very excited for the second half of this season. Yeah, I am too, actually. We saw in the opening, you see a lot of like interesting and new characters. I even saw some stuff with Gang Orca, and I'm really curious on what that's going to be about. And I'm super looking forward to everything that's going on. I'm super looking forward to showing you guys, or expressing what goes down in these episodes. I mean, we break them down a little bit, but we also try to like show you guys how excited we are about certain things, and express how much we enjoy certain things. Nerd out with us. Ask us questions. I'm pretty sure there's going to be one of us who can ask questions or at least engage on. Yeah, I'm always down to answer you guys' questions, man. I'm at work, and people come to me like, hey, this episode of FCTV and this and that, when's the next one going to drop? Or when are you guys going to talk about this? When are you guys going to talk about that? And I'm like, look, man, you let us know what you want to hear, and we got you. But, yeah, But that was my final thoughts. Anything for you? Not really. All right. You kind of covered everything. I overall enjoyed the entire episode. So now it's on to the next episode. Yeah. Stay tuned, and we shall be dropping this next episode whenever we find time to record after the next episode comes out on TV or Crunchyroll or whatever you guys watch it on. Some people watch websites, some people read it, some people support the anime community. Use Crunchyroll Funimation. Yeah, get that Crunchyroll going. The anime community needs to get popping, man. Like a lot of people like anime, but they don't want to watch it. We're getting there. We're becoming mainstream, but let's just keep supporting. Yeah. But anyway, until then. My name is Snapple Grapple, and to the right of me is the Banzai Wolfburger. Oh yeah! You guys are watching episode 2 of the Otaku Lounge, and we can't wait to see you guys again. Peace. Sayonara. All for one.